Live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon. Welcome to This Day in History, aka TDH. I'm Xander. You viewer, you, and we'll be joined by the Golden Loon here eventually at some point. Today is, of course, Saturday, aka Saturday, June 13th, 2026. As we mentioned in the news show, we've just missed a third Friday the 13th this year by one day. We've already had two of them, believe it or not. I think it was January and February both had Friday the 13th. One of them did, and then maybe March. I know we have two, at least. Anyway, this show is about interesting and important events that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. We have a 34-page document, so 6 pages less than yesterday, so we're already off to a good start. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. So let's see here. We have a Perpetual Treaty, Washington Ice Cream, Miranda Rights, and more is the title for today's episode. And that's today's thumbnail. So,
With the windows.
Well, there's a raccoon right there.
Oh.
So, so you can just catch a guess of what the articles today are going to be, a little bit. Let's start us off in 313. The decisions of the Edict of Milan, signed by Constantine the Great and co-emperor Valerius Licinius, granting religious freedom throughout the Roman Empire, were published in Nicomedia. Excellent. Nicomedia. That almost sounds like a TV station. So
Nickelodeon, Nicomedia.
You don't want to say that word ever again, by the way.
Why?
Because in Latin it means I don't care about the Lord, essentially.
Oh.
Yeah. And they're trying to indoctrinate children to chant against God. It's a whole thing. Anyway, 1325, even about
1,000 years later, 100 years later.
Essentially, yeah, 100 and change.
Yeah.
1,000 and change years later.
13, yeah.
No, 313 to 1325.
Yeah, over 1,000 years.
Ibn Battuta began his travels, leaving his home in Tangiers to travel to Mecca. He was gone for 24 years.
Whoa!
Wow, that took a while. Did he even have a home anymore by then?
Lunch.
Yeah. 1373, Anglo-Portuguese Treaty of Perpetual Alliance, the world's oldest still in existence, was signed in London between King Edward III of England and King Ferdinand I of Portugal. So on this calendar date, let's see here, 2026 minus 1373, it is 653 years old exactly. It's still in effect, apparently. Wow. It says so. World's oldest still in existence. So that's awesome. They chose a good name, Perpetual.
Yeah.
So, and it's telling me to look this up, such image search. So I'm going to do that really quick. Anglo-Portuguese Treaty of 1373. Yeah. All right. So let's throw this the Perpetual Treaty of Alliance. It's this link and all the other links we gather throughout the show will be added to the underbar of the description below after the live stream. There's already some cool links down there, including but unlimited to all things Omni Coalition and our sources and anything else. 1381, Peasants' Revolt. Rebels entered London with local townsfolk attacking the prisons, destroying Savoy Palace, and killing anyone associated with the royal government.
Whoa.
Yeah, they've had enough.
Yeah.
That's what I've been not really saying, but more warning about over the past 10 some odd years. Things are coming to a head. So 1514, Henry Grey Dieu at over 1,000 tons, the largest warship in the world at the time, was built in a new Woolworth dockyard in England. It was dedicated. So
in the 1500s?
1514, 1,000 tons. Yeah. Now I'm not sure if that's with or without cannon, but because cannon would add a lot of weight to that. That's metal.
Yeah, some.
Yeah. Well, I mean, metal's heavier than wood.
Well, for sure.
So
I think that's fully sails and everything, I think.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. Those canvas sails, those add
heavy.
weight too. So, 1525, Martin Luther married Catharina von Bora against the celibacy rule decreed by the Roman Catholic Church for priests and nuns. So I wonder if that's why he did the Reformation, because he was thinking with the wrong head, maybe. I mean, it is said that maybe Christianity was just one woman's lie that got way out of hand. I mean, I'm not saying it was, and just keep an open mind. 1547, Peace of Adrianople, the Treaty of Idrine. King Ferdinand of Austria agreed to pay Ottoman Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent 30,000 gold florins for Western Hungary. magnificent, you know, like
Yeah.
California King bed sheet for a hat. It's a gigantic turban or whatever the heck
Huge.
it was that name of the thing, and you can't even see it because it's so big. But there's a feather thing,
Yeah.
like you know, sticking up. You
Yeah.
know, even for let's see if it. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, there.
Some kind of stick, or it's not a feather, but some kind of something or other. So, anyway, 1611, John Fabricius dedicated earliest sunspot publication. I'm going to look this up really quick, but we actually have it right here. This is the earliest sunspot publication. This is a depiction that's supposed to be the sun, and then that kind of looks like sunspots.
Ah,
You've seen actual photographs of sunspots.
Yeah.
Does that not kind of look like a sunspot?
I guess.
Yeah. Like, let's image search this really quick. Oh, there's that raccoon that I showed you earlier. So, get rid of the reading list there. But right here, like, this is a better image. It's kind of small. I can bigger
Yeah.
this right here.
Oh yeah.
But you see how, like, that actually looks like sunspots now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
moving on up, 1707, Hungary declared itself independent under Ferenc Razoki II, also known as Francis II Rakozlowski. Okay, 1707, so, you know, these weird names right there. 1727, Spain underwrote Preliminary of Paris. What does that mean?
I have no
Underwrites
idea.
Preliminary of Paris. I'm gonna,
Area of Paris.
yeah, I'm gonna do a surface level scratch of that article right here. It's not telling me really. The Republican European politics for the Peace of Utrecht. I'm not sure if this is 17th of July. It's not that yet. So this is 1727. It's the right year though, but not the right calendar date. If anybody can let us know a little bit more about this, let us know in the comment section. That'd be great. 1740. Georgia Provincial Governor James Oglethorpe began an unsuccessful attempt to take Spanish Florida during the Siege of St. Augustine. 1753, Austria, Great Britain, and Modena signed a secret military treaty. That's kind of weird. Secret military treaty. I'm going to look this up. Secret treaty. Well, it's just telling me about what a secret treaty is. So not anything about specifically this one here in 1753. 1774, Rhode Island became the first of Britain's North American colonies to ban the importation of slaves. Good guy, Rhode Island, dude. The first one.
Yeah.
1777, Leonard Darcos patented a submarine diving suit. So that's what this is right here.
Ah, okay.
So we have here, like, the original, it's just a bucket, you know, for a helmet, and you have them pumping air down here,
Yeah.
and
then
it's
lets it
forcing,
out.
yeah, but you exhale,
Yeah.
and there's a tube here
Yeah.
that goes out, and
Yeah.
then that's the exhale tube and everything.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool, you know,
Yeah.
little thing right there. Although it's argued that potentially Alexander the Great was the first one to be in a like submersible diving thing. Apparently, like he went like out of Alexandria. He had some kind of like glass turtle shell or something, whatever. Like and it acted like a dome. Like we kind of have things like that. Like you know, with little scooters, you can be like in a dome thing, like you know,
Yeah.
tourism and all that
Okay.
stuff. He kind of had something like that. Obviously, not with scooters and all that stuff
Right.
underwater, but like he was underwater, he could see, you know, in the air pocket that they
Right.
made artificially.
Right. Okay.
So that's according to like you know, folklore and whatnot. 1777, during the American Revolutionary War, Gilbert du Maurier, Marquis de Lafayette, landed near Charleston, South Carolina, in order to help the Continental Congress to train its army.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Primary source just says Marquis de Lafayette landed in the U.S. You know.
Not why.
Yeah,
That's important. Why?
well, they
At
at
that
least you know highlighted it, you know, like I was
Yeah.
all black and everything. But you know they have more than enough room right here to say the rest of it that I got from the other source.
Yeah.
You know, so 1789, Mrs. Alexander Hamilton served ice cream for dessert to George Washington. Ah, now I wonder if he
What's
got.
the point of that?
Well, I mean, like you know, ice cream in 1789. You know.
Yeah.
I just wonder if he got 2 scoops while everybody else got 1. Everybody was so pissed off. That's so stupid. 1798, Mission San Luis Rey de Francia, founded in California. That's a postcard image of that mission right there.
Yeah.
That's telling me to look this up /image search as well, so I'm going to do that here. Just to show a couple other images of this mission. I mean, you know, that's really stark white.
Yeah.
That's almost too white. Like, I like the beiginess, you know, it gives it a little character.
Yeah.
But all this just stark whiteness is it's too much. It kind of hurts the eyes, Oh. What else do we got here? It's 1805 Lewis and Clark expedition. Scouting ahead of the expedition, Meriwether Lewis and 4 companions sighted the Great Falls of the Missouri River. Now, I looked this up, while looking for images for the thumbnail, and I came across this. We have found that, or we saw the image already with a previous article revolving around Lewis and Clark. We haven't used this, but we've seen this.
Ah, okay.
And I'm happy that I didn't use this because this was about something else for whatever reason.
This wasn't the falls of.
No. This is the falls.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is this also appeared in the other article that had nothing to do with the falls.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying I'm always doing my due diligence when it comes to finding accurate images for the thumbnails. 1828, Simon Bolivar was proclaimed dictator of Colombia. Oh no, Simon Bolivar is the founding father of Argentina or something, or Venezuela, I guess, not Argentina. He has a pretty significant amount of
Colombia.
history here.
It'd have to be Colombia, wouldn't it?
He's Venezuelan.
Oh.
Yeah, he was born to a wealthy family in Caracas, Venezuela.
How'd he end up in Colombia?
Because he took it over. His military campaigns led to the liberation of Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia. The country of Bolivia was named after him. Oh, Bolivar. Okay, Bolivia, Bolivar. That makes sense. His most notable battles included the Admirable Campaign of 1813 and the Battle of Carabobo in 1821. Yeah, he's basically like the George Washington of South America.
Okay.
Not really in founding father or anything, but as far as a fighter and a liberator and all that jazz. So, what else do we got here? 1837, first Mormon missionaries to the British Isles left Kirtland, Ohio.
Ah.
Okay. 1850, pardon me, the American League of Colored Laborers, the first black state labor union in the United States, was established in New York City. 1854, Anthony Foss of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, patented the first U.S. accordion, having made improvements to both the keyboard and to enhance the sound. Patent number 11,062. This is 1854. I'm very difficult to have two things going on at the same time. And once again, I don't know what's an accurate picture, if anything, of his accordion. This is all in a weird language I can't understand.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, that's pretty much.
That looks old enough.
Yeah. Well, that also says the same thing that I just read right there.
Right.
So, moving on up to 1865, President Andrew Johnson proclaimed Reconstruction of Confederate States. Yep, the Reconstruction era.
Yeah.
1 year later, the U.S. House of Representatives passed the 14th Amendment, Civil Rights. Excellent.
Yeah.
1868, Oscar Dunn became the first black statesman to be elected a lieutenant governor, specifically in Louisiana.
Ah.
All right, pretty cool.
That's huge.
Yeah. 1878, hurricane killed 300 people in Labrador.
Wow.
Yeah, I wonder if that's where Labrador retrievers come from. Has to be. I mean, there is a Dalmatian country. There is a Chihuahua, Mexico.
True.
Yeah. The Saint Bernards were named after Saint Bernard. So. 1878, Congress of Berlin began determining the territories of the states in the Balkan Peninsula following the Russian-Turkish War of 1877 through 78. So according to other source, start of the Congress of Berlin, in which the major powers of Europe revised the Treaty of San Stefano, signed on March 3rd, the same year that Russia had imposed on a defeated Ottoman Empire. 1881, the U.S. Jeannette, under the command of George Washington D. Long, sunk in the Arctic Circle following 21 months of drifting after becoming trapped in the ice.
Wow.
Yeah, the USS Jeannette, not the U.S. Jeannette. United States ship Jeannette. So yeah, we spoke about this yesterday though, didn't we? I could have sworn.
That I don't remember.
Yesterday. Well, let's see here. This is 1881, so I could have sworn that we covered this yesterday. Let's pull this out really quick. June 12th events. And this was 1881, so already way ahead of it. So 1900, 1881. Yeah, USS Jeannette. This is the 12th, right here, June 12th. Today's the 13th.
Yeah.
So right here.
So what's the difference?
Well, we have the same article on 2 different days.
Oh, it is the same. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's a screw up.
Well, this is the USS Jeannette right here.
Yeah.
And then, over here.
I didn't know if it was something they did something different each day or something.
Well, I mean, it might say something slightly different, but that's what I'm saying. I'm going to have to clean this up day by day next year and look at all my notes and everything, you know, there's so much work that still needs to be done before, you know, getting all this up on the internet and everything. So, anyway, 1886, fire destroyed nearly 1,000 buildings in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let's not forget, you know, the whole mud flood theory, Tartaria, all that jazz. Within a 150 year period, every major settlement caught fire, erasing all of history, you know, like destroying all the libraries, all the records, everything. And all we have is whatever the system tells us. For all we know, everything about the revolution was all a lie, you know. We weren't there. That's all I'm saying, you know. 1888, U.S. Congress created the Department of Labor. Afuela. We don't need these departments. 1 year later, 2 feet of snow accumulated in Rawlins, Wyoming. We can use some of that right now. Yeah. It's hot as hell right now. It's 82 degrees and sunny right now. Yikes. 1890, Eagle Avenue in the Bronx was cut out in name. So, like, you know, the cutouts. You know, they made a big, wide street-sized trench in the ground to pave it and everything. 1893, Grover Cleveland noticed a rough spot in his mouth and on July 1st underwent secret successful surgery to remove a large cancerous portion of his jaw. Ooh, the operation was not revealed to the public until 1917, 9 years after his death. Wow. So, that's crazy. I mean, like, you know, the amount of the lengths that our government goes through to keep us in the dark about things. People, for the most part, didn't realize FDR was a cripple. They hid it. Like, they did everything they could to hide it.
Really?
Yeah. Like all the times they had to stay, there's documentaries all about just that one thing about him, you know?
I know from a movie I saw, or a documentary I saw on him, that he had special lock-in bracelets, braces for his legs.
That was probably Pearl Harbor, because he did that at the end.
So he could stand up and give the message to the American people.
Yeah. Well, hold on a second. You're probably thinking Pearl Harbor FDR scene. No, he wasn't talking to the people. He was proving a point to his own subordinates right here.
I don't think so. Well,
no,
maybe,
right. I'm not going to play the whole scene. Hold on a second.
We need to be reminded who we truly are, that we will not give up or give in.
Mr. President, with all respect, sir, what you're asking can't be done.
Say what you want about FDR. This scene is amazing.
Yeah.
So right now, he's like...
Mr. President! Head back, George.
He's trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
Do not tell me it can't be done.
So, like, you know, I don't want to get copyright for this scene, but, like, you get the point. You remember the scene.
Yeah.
So is that what you're thinking of, or you're thinking of something else?
I thought he locked his legs in to address...
He does.
Yeah,
he does. You know, he had those things.
Yeah.
You know, they showed it right there in that scene. But, like, but most people didn't see that. They did have those, so he'd stand, but they don't see him doing that and everything, and then getting up and all that stuff to address. To my knowledge, for the most part, outside of his immediate cabinet, nobody knew, you know, and such. I think. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how you can hide somebody in a wheelchair. So, but anyway, 1895, Emile Levasseur won the first automobile race in history, the Paris-Bordeaux-Paris, taking 48 hours and 48 minutes and 1,178 kilometers. We spoke about this yesterday. The Paris-Bordeaux-Paris.
Yeah.
So, and here's just an image. Kind of looks like AI. I'm not sure if this is AI or not. So, that's pretty cool.
It's a rendering, anyways.
Yeah. From the other source, Emile Levasseur won the world's first real automobile race. The Levasseur completed a 732-mile course from Paris to Bordeaux and back in just under 49 hours at a then impressive speed of about 15 miles per hour, or 24 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, we did do that yesterday.
Yep. 1898, Yukon Territory of Canada was established, with Dawson chosen as the capital. In 1900, in China, Baron von Kettler, the German minister to China, beat 2 young boxers with his walking stick. When word of this circulated, rioting and arson spread throughout Peking during the night. Yeah, that would happen. Freaking, you know, Whitey Round Eye coming into our territory and hitting us with sticks? Oh, hell no. You know, 1902, Prussian upper house gave 350 million marks to Poland. Why?
Oh.
Why, though? So that's a lot of marks. 3 years later, in 1905, New York Giants future Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Christy Mathewson threw his second no-hitter, defeating the Chicago Cubs 1-0 at West Side Grounds, Chicago. Okay. 1907, lowest temperature ever in the 48 U.S. states for June, 2 degrees Fahrenheit in Tamarack, California. Woo!
Wow.
That's cold in Cali, huh? Wow. Never heard of Tamarack.
Well, I know of a Tamarack. It was right down in the ocean towards San Diego, but that can't be the same.
Well, let's look that up here really quick. Tamarack, California. I don't know what other Tamarack, California there could be. No.
No, that's up in the mountains somewhere.
Oh, right here. Well, that's.
Yeah.
Well, is this a city or a region? Because that looks like a county. Tamarack County.
Oh, well, maybe it's a county.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Map of Tamarack. Calaveras County. No, the county is.
That's
is
a city.
something. I don't know. Anyway, we gotta keep on going here. 1910, pilot Charles Hamilton made the first one-day round trip from New York to Philadelphia. Okay. We also have South Carolina physician William Demosis Krum was appointed to the U.S. Minister to Liberia. It's odd, a physician becoming a minister. You know, there's so many weird political positions filled up by weird.
Liberia. Great.
Yeah, I know, right?
Unthaw some souls.
Yeah.
Unthaw.
1913, Yanks won the 13th game of the year after losing 36 games.
Wow.
Yeah. 1914, Eleftherios Venizelos announced that Greece intended to annex Chios and Mytilene, 2 large islands off the Turkish coast. Greece and Turkey had been heading towards a conflict for months over claims to the Aegean Islands. Yikes, so here we go. This is right on the cusp of World War I, if it already... Well, actually...
Not yet.
No, this says... whoops. 1917, it definitely is World War I. I don't know when World War I broke out, actually, but we're getting close. It hasn't already happened. Anyway, speaking of World War I, 1917, the deadliest German air raid on London during the First World War was carried out by Gotha G-4 bombers and resulted in 162 deaths, including 46 children and 432 injuries. 1918, the Phillies and the Cardinals tied 8-8 in 19 innings. That's almost 3 7-inning stretches. Just 2 more innings, we would have gotten there. It would have been greatness. Now, we've spoken about this before. It's funny. No babies, please. 1920, the U.S. Post Office states that children cannot be sent by parcel post after various instances. So several times people were mailing their children, and they discovered that it was not illegal, and it was a lot cheaper than a train ticket and all that stuff. Yeah, and there really wasn't any commercial planes in 1920. At least for the common person, tickets would probably be incredibly expensive still. 1922, longest recorded attack of hiccups began. Oh, this poor person. Charlie Osborne got the hiccups and continued for 68 years, dying 11 months after it stops.
Oh.
Son of a gun.
I'm in trouble. They stopped.
Yeah, yikes. 1924, Bean Barak in Palestine was founded. Oh, look, it says Palestine, not Israel. Kind of weird. 1924, Gaston de Mercury was elected as the first Protestant French president. And I only brought that up because Gaston, nobody hunts like Gaston, nobody drinks like Gaston.
Oh, yeah,
from Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
Now, if you think about it, if you watch that movie through Gaston's perspective, he was 100% in the right. The whole movie tried to portray him as a villain, but when you think about it, all the village, you have this dainty, young lady that goes into the castle, that's all mystery and everything, and then people start seeing this giant, big, huge, hairy beast. And then they assume of course Gaston's going to come to the rescue. He doesn't know. Nobody else knows. So Gaston wasn't really a villain. He was just acting with what information he had on hand.
But the beast was so nice.
Well, eventually. Didn't he scream at her or something about getting near the rose or something? Whatever. I'm not. Anyway, 1924 as well, the Yanks won by forfeit over the Tigers. Their third 4-5 win that game.
That season.
That season, yeah, not a game. Yeah, MLB New York Yankees win their third franchise game by forfeit over Detroit Tigers. So maybe not even that season. It just said third franchise game. Anyway, 1925, Charles Jenkins demonstrated the transmission of synchronized pictures and sound, early television.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, 25?
Yeah. Yeah. Right here, the large lens and the mask on the left images a picture of the moving object through the... So it's telling us how it works and everything. But yeah, this is the very beginning of television. So, awesome. What else we got here? 1927, a ticker tape parade welcomed aviator Charles Lindbergh to New York City. The tape parade was up on Fifth Avenue.
That's coming back from London, I assume.
Yeah, yeah. And let's not forget, Charles Lindbergh was a Nazi sympathizer and supporter. I believe he wanted us to join World War II on the Nazi side. And I also believe that he killed his son unintentionally, but he still killed him, and then he used his celebrity and status to blame some poor schmuck who then got screwed for it. 1930, 22 people were killed by hailstones in Saitasta, Greece. Yikes. 32 as well, Great Britain and France signed a peace treaty. And, that's 32, and they're signing a peace treaty now? That seems a little late. Or unless they're revising something or whatever. Treaty of Paris, but this is 1783. I'm talking about 1932.
Yeah, that's way different.
So this is... Now, here we go again, AI. It just says the context provided does not mention any peace treaty signed between Great Britain and France in 19... I literally said that that's what they did, and they're telling me that that's not what they did. AI is being weird with this. What else we got here? 33, Federal Homeowners Loan Corporation authorized... Yeah, gotta get rid of that. First sodium vapor lamps installed in the U.S. in Schenectady, New York. Schenectady?
Schenectady or something?
I can't pronounce this word. We said this before, and this is an example of these type of lights. So
they look like fluorescents.
Yeah, this is sodium vapor, whatever sodium vapor is. Actually, hold on, get rid of that. Just let's look this up here really quick. No, first sodium vapor lamps. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh wow, this is a whole article about it. Yeah, the installation of the first sodium vapor lamps.
I think it's Schenectady.
Yeah, the groundbreaking development in lighting technology would go on to revolutionize the way we illuminate our streets and cities. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's called Schenectady, New York.
Sodium vapor lamps. Yeah, I can never pronounce that word for some reason. I'm going to throw this whole article into the underbar section, just if anybody wants to read more up on that. That looks like something interesting to read. 33, German secret state police, the Gestapo, also known as the Geheim Staatspolizei, was established by Hermann Göring. We all know about the Gestapo. This word is used so much today, especially when talking about, immigration control, ICE, all that stuff. 35, a 10-1 underdog, James J. Braddock upsetted defending champion Max Baer in a 15-round unanimous points decision at Madison Square Garden, New York City for the World Heavyweight Boxing title. 1935 as well, Hammond scored his 100th 116 for Glokes versus Somerset. I think Gloucestershire, maybe?
I have no idea what you just said.
This is cricket. So, 100. It has to be cricket. So, whoops, didn't mean to click that. 37, Joe DiMaggio hit 3 consecutive home runs against St. Louis Browns. We have another cricket one here in 38. Great cricket innings of 232 by Stan McCabe versus England at Trent Bridge. I have no idea what that means, but that sounds interesting. 232 innings. That's a lot. That's apparently 33.14 7-inning stretches. I actually did the math.
Wow.
In 1938, Jews injured and property destroyed in Przemysl, Poland. Well, 38, Poland, so, yeah. 40, Paris evacuated before German advance. Yep, getting out of there. Mom's time, although it's 1 year later. We have the first V-2 rocket launch in Peenemünde, Germany, reaching 1.3 kilometers. Now, didn't we talk about the V-2 yesterday?
Seems like we did, yes.
Because now, in 2 years, we're going to be talking about the V-1. But that brings up a whole nother point. Was it this one or that one And we'll wrap all that up when we get there. You know, but I'm just planting the seed for that
This
conversation.
That one for what?
That we spoke about yesterday.
Oh, I'm not
So,
sure.
yeah.
The V2 was, you know, the scary part was you'd hear them, and then when they stopped, means they were going to come down. When the motor stopped on them,
Yeah.
that means it was coming down.
That was also, maybe you're thinking of the V1 because the V1 had wings.
Well, that's what they fired at England.
They fired both of these at England.
Okay, yeah.
The V2, but then later on, and you know, I'll just show you right here. The V1. See,
Okay.
we have 1942, the V2.
Okay.
1944, the V1.
Okay.
Wouldn't the V1 come first?
You would think so.
Apparently not, you know. But see, there's a difference. This is a rocket.
Mm-hmm.
This is a flying bomb.
Ah.
The difference being the V1 had wings.
But 44 is kind of late. But maybe they were still coming to 44.
But you know, but as I said, we'll get to that here in a minute. So
Yeah,
it's like,
okay.
hold that thought. We got to keep on going. 42 as well. Germany landed 4 saboteurs on Long Island, and I wonder if that's the sand story. You remember the sand story?
No.
So basically, the entire eastern seaboard, like there's power stations, you know, like for all the railroad tracks and all the, you know, like warehouse, you know, industry, everything, all that stuff. But the biggest one was in Grand Central Terminal, you know,
Okay.
underground and everything. Now, I think that's what this is here. The saboteurs, wherever they went, right here on Long Island, because they had a mission. Because you know they came over here, you know, on a U-boat. The one
Right.
I'm talking about. I'm still not sure if this article is the one I'm talking about. So,
Okay.
but they came over here on a U-boat, and I think there was 4 of them. Because there was like 3 or 4 of them and everything. Their ultimate goal was to get into Grand Central Terminal in New York and Manhattan, you know,
Right.
and then somehow find their way to where these, you know, big dynamos were, and literally throw a pocket full of sand into them,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
it would melt the sand, the heat, and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
and it would destroy the engines.
Yeah.
And there goes our entire supply chain, you know, of running trains and everything along
Yeah.
the entire eastern seaboard, and that would greatly hinder our war effort. You know, we can't move
I
things.
have heard that story,
So
yes.
I wonder though, because this sounds very, very much like it. So anyway, moving on up. What else do we got here? 1942 as well. The United States opened its Office of War Information with Elmer Davis as its head. Okay. U.S. Office of Strategic Services (OSS) was formed. I wonder if that's anything to do with the same thing. Office of War Information, Office of Strategic Services. Kind of sounds like they would work together. Anyway, here we are. First German V-1 flying bomb, a Frizzler Free 103 attack on London. Now, let me show you. Let's see here. This is... now, this was... We have the first V-2 rocket launch and the
Right.
first V-1 launch on
Right.
the same day, exactly 2 years apart, which is kind of wild,
Yeah.
you know. But this is the rocket. It's a rocket. You wouldn't necessarily hear it stop because it's like miles, like you won't hear it,
Yeah.
you know. But you're probably, that's why I'm saying,
Well, it's a rocket, but it's firing all the way until it runs out of fuel.
yes, it is.
That's
But
the point. And when it runs out of fuel is when you're going to hear it go silent.
no. What I'm saying is maybe you're thinking of this.
Could be.
No, this, because see, it's a plane shape.
Yeah.
And that would be more of a running out of fuel and then gliding type of
Right.
thing. With a rocket, you go up, you don't even hear it because it's way up there, and then it basically comes down, straight down. With this, it's flying. So that's why I'm not saying you're right or you're wrong.
Right,
I'm
I
just
don't
saying,
know.
I think, you know, with my knowledge of physics, you're probably confusing the V2 for the V1.
Could be.
So they're both Vs, they're both
Yeah.
German, they're both World War II.
And the design
You know?
was, they estimated when they'd run out of fuel.
Yeah,
and then
that's
they
when
would
they're
come down
flying.
And blow up.
Yeah, that's when they're flying.
Yeah.
And when they're rockets. So I mean, that's why I said I'm not sure which one of those two, unless it's both. You know. 1944, German counterattack on Villers-Bocage, Normandy. From other sources, during World War II, the Battle of Villers-Bocage, German tank ace Michael Whitman ambushed elements of the British 7th Armored Division, destroying up to 14 tanks and 15 personnel carriers, as well as 2 anti-tank guns and 1 Tiger 1 tank.
Wow.
There's one guy, well, one crew, but like, you know, he's the tank ace, the
Yeah.
commander, he's the tank ace. So, and believe it or not, you know what a fighter ace is.
Yeah.
Well, they do have tank aces. If you have, like 5 or so deaths under your belt in a tank, So, but this guy, he killed 14, up to 14 tanks, 15 personnel carriers, and 2 anti-tank guns with 1 tank. Holy shit, dude. And then we have potentially connected another article here. German combat elements reinforced by the 17th Panzer Grenadier Division, or the SS Panzer Grenadier Division, launched a counterattack on U.S. forces near Carenta. So this is not Villers-Bocage, but this is, they're both counterattacks, same day, same year, and obviously they're both in response to Normandy. So, 45, Oroke Peninsula in Okinawa was captured with 6,000 dead. Heavy price to pay. Loons time, 46, first transcontinental round-trip flight in one day from California to Maryland.
Wow.
So, and then back. So it has to be, because it's round trip. 46 as well, King Umberto II of Italy abdicated after 24 days in the wake of the country declaring itself a republic. Well, I mean, you can't have a king if you're a republic.
No.
47, first night game at Fenway Park, Red Sox 5, White Sox 3. So 5-3, Red versus
We've been
White.
having first night games.
Yeah.
Lately.
1948, Babe Ruth's final farewell at Yankee Stadium. He died on August 16th.
Geez.
Yeah, man. If you had seen his diet, though, like I saw a video of, he ate, so much food. He ate entire heads of lettuce or cabbage or something. Oh, my goodness. I don't know how he ate all that. He, freaking 8 hot dogs a day. Wow. 1950, South African Parliament accepted the Groups Area Acts. That sounds like segregation, apartheid type things. Group Areas Acts. Let's look at the open. Thank you. There we go. It was a title of 3 acts of the Parliament of South Africa enacted under the apartheid government of South Africa. The acts assigned racial groups to different residential and business sections in urban areas in the system of urban apartheid. I don't need to read any more of that. Absolutely reprehensible Groups Area Acts. If anybody does want to read more about it, though, I will post this link down there. It's 51. United Nations Armed Forces reach Pyongyang, Korea. Armed forces. Don't you mean armed forces?
What does it say?
Just arm. A-R-M.
No, it needs a D.
Yeah. That's why I keep saying that troops supposed to be troops. It's supposed to be plural.
Yeah.
This just says armed, so...
Well, they left the D off.
Yeah, no, the E-D.
Yeah, E-D,
No.
yeah.
They left erectile dysfunction off the arm. 1952, Soviet fighters shot down Swedish Air Force Dakota DC-3 reconnaissance plane east of Gotska Sandon in the Baltic Sea, killing the entire crew of 8. And it was a Douglas DC-3 shot down by a MiG-15 fighter. 1954, cornerstone of Albert Einstein College of Medicine laid in the Bronx. Albert Einstein with medicine. That's those. I mean, he was a scientist, but not in medicine.
No.
So that's a weird, way to honor him. But there it is. And, we have this building here, if it'll load. Cool looking building.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein College of Medicine of Yeshiva University, Jack and Pearl Reshnik campus.
Well, maybe he has some breakthroughs in medicine. I don't know.
Maybe. I have no clue.
No, nor do I.
What else do we got here? 1955, Mercedes racing car killed 77 at Le Mans in France. Didn't we cover that yesterday?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Yeah, and then or the other day.
Through the air.
Yeah. Well, that was a different race, but I
Yes,
just wanted to
yes.
show that.
Yes.
56, the last British troops left the Suez Canal zone in Egypt. All right. 57, Mayflower 2 from Plymouth, England, reached Plymouth, Massachusetts. Good old Mayflower 2. I wonder if it looked the same as the Mayflower 1.
I hope so. I hope it's a replica.
But in 57, they're sailing that?
Well, a replica, it means it looks the same.
Oh, what the hell? They did sail that.
Yeah, there you go.
Huh. I would have never imagined them sailing a sail ship, in 57.
Well, that's what a replica is.
Well, yes, but you're not, for a museum piece or to
Yeah,
sail.
yeah,
No,
true.
this is crossing the Atlantic in 57 in this.
Yeah, they
That's-
want to see if they could do it.
That's wild. Well, of course we could do it, but,
Now you never know.
well,
They showed up so they could do it. Didn't show up, they couldn't do it.
I mean, we've already done it before. This is the second one,
Yeah.
57 as well, Ted Williams became the first American leaguer to have 3 home run games in a season. Okay.
2, 3, how many?
So he scored 2 games
He had
each with
3
3 home runs.
twice.
Yeah. 1958, Frank Zappa graduated from Antelope High School in Lancaster, California. Can you verify that?
Yeah.
Did he?
What?
Antelope Valley High School, Frank
Well,
Zappa.
I don't know which one. He's from LA.
Oh.
He's from the Southern California area.
Yeah, but, I mean, but you were...
I have no idea what school he came from.
Well, you're usually in the know with all these people. Oh.
Or Frank Zappa went to high school out there.
I don't know.
And that's in '58. I wasn't even in high school.
Oh, true. Yeah, okay. 1960, Alley Oop by Dinosaur peaked at number 59.
Alley oop, oop, oop. I know all these old songs.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, into that one there. 1962, Lolita, film based on Vladimir Nabokov's novel, directed by Stanley Kubrick, starring James Mason and Sue Leon, was released. Okay. 62, Norway was named Ombudsman. Or Norway named
What the hell does
Ombudsman.
that mean?
I have no idea. I'm going to look this up here really quick. Norwegian Parliamentary Ombud. So I guess this is naming their parliament? It says here, in 1962, according to AI, Norway established a Norwegian Parliamentary Ombudsman to oversee public administration. Okay, so it's an organization.
Yeah.
Or it's like it's a wing of the government. So, hold on a second. Let me just copy this really quick. I'll just put this in the underbar, the description section. So if anybody wants to read more about that, that's pretty interesting there. 66, U.S. Supreme Court's Miranda decision. Suspects must be informed of their rights. According to other source, the United States Supreme Court ruled in Miranda versus Arizona that the police must inform suspects of their Fifth Amendment rights before questioning them, colloquially known as Mirandizing, or your Miranda rights.
Yeah.
You know, every time, you get pulled over, you get arrested or whatever, you have the right to remain silent, you have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the state, will get you yada yada, all that stuff. Those are the
You're
Miranda
entitled
rights.
to Miranda rights,
Yes.
and when they read them to you, you're being Mirandized.
Yes. Yes.
It's an adjective.
Now, as Ron White once said, Ron White's right to, let's see if I can find a short clip of this. Here we go. Here we go. I'm not sure if this is it. But he says,
Ron White.
is this it here?
But I'm not getting in the pool.
For tickets, go to...
Well. Anyway, at one point he says he was arrested for drunk in public, and he had the right to remain silent, but he did not have the capacity. 1967, Thurgood Marshall nominated as first black citizen, or first black Stadian Supreme Court Justice, nominated by President Lyndon B. Johnson. Thurgood Marshall.
I
Excellent.
think he came from California, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see here. You also play Marshall, born in Baltimore, Maryland.
I think someone else.
University School of Law, Howard.
No, he's not from California.
Yeah.
But anyway, Supreme Court, kudos. Took a long time, but someone got
Yeah. Better late than never, though.
Yeah.
1969, guitarist Mick Taylor left John Mayall Band and joined the Rolling Stones.
Oh.
Yeah. We also have 70, In the Summertime, da 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 da, by Mungo Jerry, hit number 1 in the UK. This song. Everybody knows this song.
In the summertime.
Yeah. If I can. Everybody knows this song. What else we got here? 1970, the Beatles' Long and Winding Road single went number 1 and stayed there for 2 weeks. And the Let It Be album also went number 1 and stayed there for 4 weeks, both in 1970. So whoops, did not mean to do that right there. Yeah, I wanted to do this, highlight these two guys right there. 71, the New York Times began publishing excerpts from the Pentagon Papers, classified documents on the long history of the U.S. and Vietnam. 71 as well, in defiance of a government ban, members of the Orange Order marched through the mainly Catholic town of Dungiven, County Londonderry, causing a riot. 72, the Irish Republican Army invited British Secretary of State for Northern Ireland Willie Whitelaw to free Derry. Whitelaw rejected the offer and reaffirmed his policy to not, quote, let part of the United Kingdom default from the rule of law, end quote. Well, they ain't doing too well right now. This exact moment in time, the entire country of Ireland is on fire. 73, Garvey, Lopes, Key, and Russell played together for the first time, setting a record of staying together as an infield for 8.5 years, LA Dodgers.
Yeah. That's third base, shortstop, first and second.
Yep.
First, second, third, and short.
Yep. From other sources, it says in a game versus the Philadelphia Phillies at Veterans Stadium, Los Angeles Dodgers teammates Steve Garvey, Davey Lopez, or Lopes, I guess,
Yeah,
Ron
Lopes.
C., and Bill Russell played together as an infield for the first time, going on to set the Major League Baseball record of staying together for 8.5 years.
Ron Say, known as the Penguin.
Ah. Was he the Batman villain penguin or something?
He kind of had bow legs or something. Ran like a penguin.
Did he go?
He may have.
74, IMF established its oil facility, a special fund for loans to nations whose balance of payments have been severely affected by high oil prices. 77, convicted Martin Luther King Jr. assassin James Earl Ray was recaptured after escaping from prison 3 days later. That was 3 days before. That's written very weird. Convicted Martin Luther King. So you're just like, what did he do?
Yeah.
Assassin. Oh, why not just say, James Earl Ray, the convicted assassin of Martin Luther King. There's a better way to write that.
Backwards.
It almost seems as if they're trying to make Martin Luther King sound like a murderer. I don't know. 78, Israeli Defense Forces withdrew from Lebanon. I don't know how you can call yourself defense forces when you're on the offense. They're obviously not a defense force. That's just PR, euphemistic language to distract people from what you actually are.
Thanks, George Carlin.
Yep. 79, Sioux Nation received $100 million in compensation for Black Hills, South Dakota. So we took it, from them. They also took that.
We have the sculptures.
Oh yeah, Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think it's the Black Hills. Yeah, but everybody's always like, oh, the white man took them from the natives. Well, the natives took them from other natives. So are they going to give reparations to the other natives? No. So why the fuck? It sucks. But you know what? Silver lining the black cloud. At least we know your people exists.
Yeah.
That's why I keep saying. It could have been so much worse. It could have been better, but it could have been worse, so count your blessings.
Yeah, so many Indian nations have been screwed with it.
Well, not just the Native Americans. How many countless hundreds of civilizations have perished under... you remember the scene from 300? I will grind the name of Sparta into dust.
Yeah.
It will cease to exist.
Yeah.
How many times does that happen?
Exactly right.
1980, Deborah Harry and Meatloaf film Roadie premiered. Never heard of it, but that sounds interesting.
Obviously, I've heard of
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf,
Yeah. In 1980 as well, UN Secretary Council called for South Africa to free Nelson Mandela. I agree.
Yeah.
U.S. Congressman John Jenrette Jr., a Democrat of South Carolina, was indicted in ab scam investigation.
Talked about this guy yesterday.
We did?
Yeah.
Ab
I
scam.
remember when you said it sounded like John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Hey, that's my name too.
But didn't go there.
Yeah. Oh, that must have been... 'cause I remember you making that joke, but that was a while ago.
Could have been.
Oh. Here we go. Indicted for conspiracy in absent case. What is this right here? So I'm gonna put this here. Ab scam case. Ab scam case. I'm gonna underbar really quick if anybody wants to read more about this. So. What else do we got here? Moving on up to 1981, 39 unification church couples wed in Germany. So that's 78 people, if I'm doing my math correctly.
Yes.
Yeah. 81 as well, a teenager fired 6 blank rounds at Queen Elizabeth II. At the Trooping of the Colours ceremony in London, a teenager, Marcus Sargent, fired 6 blank shots at Queen Elizabeth II. Wow. That's a great way to get yourself killed.
Yeah.
Stupid. Tom Snyder interviewed murderer Charles Manson on Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I remember that show.
Yeah. 89, Fahid became king of Saudi Arabia after King Khalid, his brother, died at the age of 69. '83, NASA's Pioneer 10 became the first man-made object to leave the solar system. Now, has it actually left the solar system? Because haven't we recently discovered, like, the solar system has, like, another this and another and another, Like, it has, like,
You're
2,
beyond-
3, 4 bubbles,
Beyond my comprehension.
Yeah. '85, Prizzy's Honor, starring Jack Nicholson, Kathleen Turner, and Angelica Houston, was released. You ever heard of that?
No.
Prizzy's Honor?
No.
Neither have I. Jack Nicholson, though. Like,
Well, there's
Great
some big
actor.
names in there.
yeah.
Nicholson, who else was in there?
Kathleen Turner.
Yeah, she's a biggie.
Ted Turner, right?
No.
Well, of the family.
No.
Oh,
No
different
relation.
Turner.
Yeah.
Oh. Turner Broadcasting? Well, that's Ted
no
Turner.
relation.
Huh. Angelica Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1986, the city of Berlin in Germany dedicated Leon Giselle Platz a small town square in memory of a composer who was killed at the age of 70 by the Gestapo in 1943 during the Holocaust and everything. I looked this up on image search. I couldn't really find anything. I found like a square right here. Is this it? But this says Minsk, Belarus. That's not Germany. So many, and I'm getting, these are not the same things that I gotta, and why are we getting P.W. Botha? Like,
I don't know.
that's weird. Why are we getting Jack
I was
Nicholson?
just going to say, how about Jack
Like,
Nicholson?
Hey, Ayo's time!
Oh.
Actually, no, not there yet. One more 86 here. U.S. President Reagan criticized South African state of emergency. We covered that yesterday.
Huh.
About how they started a state of emergency, I believe. Now it's Ayo's time.
Okay.
87, Daniel Boutinier, Brett Anderson, Martin E. Engel, and Ann Kanab completed a cycling journey of 15,266 miles from Prudhoe Bay, Alaska to Argentina.
Holy
Wow.
cow.
That's crazy.
How'd you get across the water?
Well, no, they went across the land. Alaska to Argentina. They're all the same continent.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, they
yes,
just went
yes,
through
yes,
Canada.
Yes.
And then Mexico, and then Panama.
Yeah, no, I don't
you
know why I'm putting it in Europe for some reason.
I don't know either.
Argentina, I don't know what I was thinking.
I don't know either. 88, Boston Red Sox are 10 games back in the American League, but they went on to win the AL East.
Wow.
Yeah, hell of a comeback there. Federal jury found Liggett liable of death of a New Jersey woman of lung cancer. Yeah. I guess a faulty diagnosis or something maybe. 88, the U.S. Supreme Court refused to hear Yonkers' argument they aren't racist. That sounds like unconstitutional. Do they not have the right to defend themselves
They have
against
to
an
have some kind of
accusation?
merit for some. They have to have merit to be heard there. So maybe there wasn't. I don't know the legal ins and outs.
Merit my ass. If they get accused, they should have the right to stand up and defend themselves. This sounds bullshit. As a court of law, you're not allowed to refuse to hear somebody's statement, because now you're passing a judgment without habeas corpus and shit. This ain't right.
Well, I don't know the whole thing, but it just didn't get accepted to the Supreme Court. It didn't meet whatever their standards are.
I don't know. That sounds unconstitutional to me. 89, License to Kill, the 16th James Bond film, last directed by John Glenn and starring Timothy Dalton, premiered in London. I also have Houston's Terry Poole played his 1,403rd game, most by a Canadian.
Ah,
Yeah.
cool.
Yep. A piano playing rock singer Jerry Lee Lewis got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now let's not forget.
Wow, that's a long time after. Yeah.
Let's not forget about if you look at Paramount and everything, because their logo, they have all the stars around.
Yeah.
Apparently it's 26 stars or 33 stars or whatever, the exact same number of the amount of angels that were cast out of heaven alongside Lucifer. It wasn't just the devil that was cast from heaven, It was all of his allies, and they're also referred to as falling stars. We look at Los Angeles, the city of fallen angels. Los Angeles, city of angels.
City of Angels.
Hollywood, it used to be called Hollywood Land, and holly is a type of tree. Hollywood is used in witchcraft and sorcery and everything.
Wow, this is a stretch.
No, it's not a stretch.
Okay.
I'm putting
Okay.
things together.
Yes, you are. You can.
Okay. And also, the Apollo 11 astronauts, say what you want about what you think, whether or not we landed on the moon, are the only astronauts, are the only non-actors that have stars on Hollywood Walk of Fame. kind of weird.
I don't know what they're doing there. I didn't.
Because they probably faked it. And they got stars for providing a good performance. Hey, I'm not saying they did or they didn't. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
hey, you
Okay.
have all these pieces. Take with them what you will. Start looking into things yourself. Because if there's one thing that we can all agree on, everything that we know to be truth is all bullshit. You know? So, 1990, Boeing 767-200ER set a non-stop commercial flight record, flying 9,253 miles non-stop from Seattle to Nairobi in Kenya.
Wow.
Holy shit! That's a heck of a flight right there. 1990, the film Dick Tracy, directed by Warren Beatty and starring Warren Beatty and Madonna, premiered in Woodstock, Illinois.
Warren Beatty.
Beatty, okay. Madonna is still working in 90? Wow. It's crazy. 1990 as well, Nelson and Winnie Mandela were welcomed in New York City. Excellent.
There you go.
Finally free. 1990 as well, the first day of the June 1990 mine raid in Romania. At least 240 strikers and students were arrested or killed in the chaos ensuing from the first post-Casio elections. You know, so this is from secondary source right here. So that's terrible. Arrested or killed. Wow. 91, NHL owners presented a contract to players leading to April 1st, 1992 strike. It almost sounds like an April
didn't
Fool's
like
Day thing, yeah. The National, the first all-sports daily newspaper, ceased publication. Doing a really quick look-see-loo if there's any comments. No comments. 91, a spectator was killed by lightning at the U.S. Open golf tournament. Whoa.
Oh,
That's
not good.
no, it's not. And I actually I'm just gonna show this really quick. I'm not sure if this actually depicts, there's a bunch of people on the ground here, so maybe it went through a bunch of people. There's a guy, but we have right here. I think that's the person we're actively seeing somebody passing between worlds, right here. Like that's crazy, huh? You know, at a golf course. So.
Yeah.
94, a jury in Anchorage, Alaska blamed recklessness by Exxon and Captain Joseph Hazelwood for the Exxon Valdez disaster, allowing victims of the oil spill to seek $15 billion in damages. And to give you an example, that's the number right there.
Yeah.
9 zeros. 1994, Chicago Cubs second baseman Ryan Sandberg retired due to poor play. He forfeited $15.7 million of his $25 million contract. Wow. We also have Don Mattingly played first base, 1,469 game for Yankees, the second most. 1995, Bjork released her second art pop solo album, Post. I guess post meaning after, so it would work
Never
for the
heard of
second
him.
one. Bjork.
No.
It's a person.
No.
Singer.
Never heard of her. Him,
Yeah.
Hit what?
Yeah. MLB Cleveland Indians Dennis Martinez no hit Baltimore Orioles 11-0. Dang. New Jersey Devils defeated Philadelphia Flyers 4-2 for a 4-2 series win, qualifying for their first Stanley Cup final series, defeating the Detroit Red Wings 4-0. 96, Montana Freeman surrendered after an 81-day standoff with FBI agents. 97, a U.S. fugitive Ira Einhorn was arrested in France for the murder of Holly Madou after 16 years on the run, though he would not return for another 4 years. 97, as well, jurors in Oklahoma City bombing trial sentenced Timothy McVeigh to death.
Good.
Didn't we talk about his execution yesterday?
Yeah.
So, 2001. Wow. So it took another 4 years, 5 years? Wow. Dragging feet. The Upar cinema fire took place at Green Park in Delhi, India, resulting in the deaths of 59 people and seriously injuring 103 others. The fire in a cinema, man, it's terrible. Places of relaxation, places of shopping, like that big pink mall in South Korea that collapsed. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's terrible. In the year 2000, Italy pardoned Mehmet Ali Akka, the Turkish gunman who tried to kill Pope John Paul II in 1981. I don't know, man. That guy should be seeing the business end of a guillotine. This guy, for trying to kill somebody. We also have Samuel L. Jackson was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Let's not forget what I said about fallen angels and stars and all that stuff. Hey, it's something to look into. We also have South Korean President Kim Dae-jung met North Korean dictator Kim Jong-il for the beginning of the first ever inter-Korea summit in the northern capital of Pyongyang. Now, I always wondered how they always got us to get into Pyongyang. You know?
What do you mean?
Well, you know, Kim Jong-un would never come into South Korea because he knows that we would immediately arrest him on the spot. But, you know, how come we're confident that he won't arrest our officials on the spot on their land? You know?
I don't know if that's the reason why I won't go into South Korea.
Well, of course that's why.
We would not go in and, you know, arrest someone like that.
Well, yes, we were. Yes, we would. I mean, look at Maduro. You know? You think Maduro is a bigger threat than Kim Jong-il and we wouldn't arrest Kim Jong-il? Come on, be real.
Well, not when you're having negotiations.
Please. You know, all's fair in love and war, and we're in war with them, so... Anyway, 2002 Stanley Cup Final, Joe Louis Arena, Detroit, Michigan. Detroit Red Wings beat Carolina Hurricanes 3-1 for a 4-1 series win. Red Wings' 10th title. Coach Scotty Bowman retired with record 9th title. Nice. 2002 as well, the United States of America withdrew from the Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty. Sounds pretty, you know, aggressive of us right there.
Well, the Russians were cheating like hell, so we
And we
pulled out
weren't.
from-
Come on.
Well, I'm
please.
not saying we weren't, but that's why
Yeah.
we pulled. That's the reason we pulled out.
Yeah, well, you know, yeah. 2005, a jury in Santa Maria, California, acquitted pop singer Michael Jackson for molesting a 13-year-old Gavin Arvizo at his Neverland Ranch.
Yeah.
Now, like, there's a lot of stuff recently coming out about Michael Jackson, and I have since completely done a 180. I do not believe he was what everybody thinks he was, you know, as far as, like, you know, a child lover of the, you know, disgusting variety and everything. Well, because he started saying things against the system, you know, against, you know, big Hollywood and all that stuff. A lot of things that's coming out now. You know, he was saying things apparently about Epstein. Apparently he was saying things about Weinstein and everything. Like, you know, all these people that over the past 5 some odd years, you know, we're finally figuring things out, you know, truthful now. What's his face? Macaulay Culkin, you know, the Home Alone series, swears by his life to be on Michael Jackson's side. Yeah. So, you know.
Yeah, I guess he was a child star. He was with Mike as a kid.
Yeah.
And he would have had the perfect opportunity to try to do
see,
something to him.
The reason why they dragged his name and all that stuff through the mud was because he was actively, and one of his first, I believe, was Macaulay Culkin. He saved Macaulay Culkin from, you know, becoming a sacrifice or something and all that stuff. But, like, he was trying to prevent kids from falling into what, you know, the predatory nature of the biz, you know?
I think
they condemned him for it.
I think he had a real kid-like side in him, and he enjoyed being around kids and getting down to their level.
But it was more than that. Like, he actually, there are documentaries out there of Michael Jackson himself saying he's protecting them from the pedophiles of the industry,
well,
stuff like that.
Could be, and I'm not saying. I just said I think
we're both right. Like,
we're
we're saying two different stories.
Yeah.
I'm saying the main meat of it. You're saying the surface level. You know, but we're both right in our own thing. So. Anyway, 2006, the U.S. Senate issued a formal resolution apologizing for failure to create anti-lynching legislation. What the hell? 2007, first large-scale exhibition of Mexican artist Frida Kahlo's work in Mexico opened at Palacio de Bellas Artes on the 100th anniversary of her birth. I'm just going to do a really quick image search of this really quick just to show, you know, various artworks.
Big
Look
Mexican
at that.
Artist, yeah.
Oh, that's obviously a projection and everything.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, this is, you know, what I would like to go and see. That is cool, beautiful works. Like, I wonder where these works are now. Oh, that's cool. They're connected by the heart. Hold on, right here. You see that? Well, it was up here. There it is. I was wondering what that line was. So that's cool.
What do you mean connected by the heart?
Well, like, right here. Like, there's a vein, an artery connecting right there. Connects to hearts.
I got
right there.
Yeah.
That's wild. Oh, whoa, hold on a second. So, and she's cutting it here. So this that's bleeding, it's connected here. It forks into her heart, connects into this heart. This connects, it goes around her arm, and then it leads to something.
She's not. I don't think she's cutting it the way she's holding the scissors. It looks like she's pinching it.
Maybe suturing
Yeah.
or something. Yeah. Anyway, 2007 as well. The Al-Askari Mosque in Samarra was bombed reportedly by Iraqi Ba'athists, destroying the mosque's two 10-story minarets. And apparently it was bombed. This was the second time it had been bombed. And I couldn't find any good images of this for the thumbnail. Although, there's nothing good about any of these images. It's destruction. It's horrible. I don't care if it's a mosque, a synagogue, a church, a temple, whatever, a palace, like any place of worship, any place where people go and seek refuge and pray to whatever God they want to believe, should completely, internationally, human nature off limits. At the same time, now it opens the door for bad actors to come in and I have asylum. Well, Anyway, 2008, Viva La Vida, a single released by Coldplay, their first U.S. #1 Grammy Song of the Year. We spoke about this yesterday. Wasn't it also like Viva La Vida and like the Song of Death or something? Like,
I don't know.
Viva La Vida, full name. Let's see here. Yeah, here it is. From the album. Oh, okay, so the song was released. The single.
Yeah.
So that's when the single. But the album itself was Viva La Vida or Death and All His Friends. So that's the name of the album.
Wow. Gotcha.
Okay. That's a dark album.
Yeah.
It's a dark, not a piece, it's an album. 2010, a capsule of the Japanese spacecraft Hayabusa containing particles of the asteroid 25143 Itokawa returned to Earth by landing in the Australian outback. 2011, Christchurch, New Zealand was hit by another strong earthquake measuring magnitude 6.3. Remember covering that. 2012, a series of bombings across Iraq killed 93 and wounded 300 others, including Baghdad, Hilla, and Kirkuk, to name a couple places that were hit by bombs. There's multiple instances.
Yeah.
We also have San Francisco Giants' Matt Cain pitched the first perfect game in the franchise's history against the Houston Astros.
That's
excellent.
Pretty good.
Yeah. 2015, floods in Tbilisi, Georgia killed 12 people and freed animals from the city zoo, including bears and hippos, to roam the city. Well, I mean, we have no lions and tigers, but we have bears and hippos. We can still say oh my. So, 2015, Philae, first spacecraft to land on a comet in European Space Agency's Rosetta mission, reawakened after 7 months. It's weird. Reawaken, it's kind of a weird terminology. Is it sentient? No. 2015 as well, a man opened fire at policemen outside the police headquarters in Dallas, Texas, while a bag containing a pipe bomb was also found. He was later shot dead by police. What the hell? It's weird. 2016, some Democratic Party members of the U.S. House of Representatives protested in a moment of silence as an inadequate response to mass shooting and demanded legislative action on gun control. Well, why are they protesting the moment of silence? Why not build upon that instead of complaining that that's not enough? Add something yourself. Suggest something. Like these leftists and everything, they can only do, complain and tear things down. They cannot actually provide something to actually be helpful and beneficial in any way. Man, they suck. 2017, Otto Warmbier returned to the U.S. in an unresponsive state after being held in a North Korean jail for 17 months. This was the guy who tried to take the poster home. And everything.
Oh, yes.
And, what a stupid thing. Dude, he's not defacing anything. He thinks the poster's cool. You should be honored that he's doing that.
Yeah.
Stupid norks.
And he died in jail.
Yeah, dumbass norks. 2017, U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions testified before Senate Intelligence Committee, denying being secretly meeting with Russians. 2017, the Warriors won second NBA title in 3 years over the Cavaliers, 129 to 120. So 2 for 3 right there. Yeah. 2018, Antarctica was melting at an accelerating rate, 200 billion tons a year, 3 trillion tons in 25 years, and a report published in Nature Journal. That's all propaganda, bullshit, leftist garbage. FIFA Congress voted to award 2026 World Cup to joint bid by U.S., Canada, and Mexico. I'm really happy they didn't say Canada, U.S., and Mexico in that order. So, yeah, you want to know why?
Okay, why?
Let's see if I can find it. What do you see here? Canada, USA, and Mexico.
Okay.
What's it spell? not good.
Okay.
So, you didn't see it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. A lot of people call it the zone. You know, that word zone. So, anyway, 2018, a raccoon climbed a 23-story office building in St. Paul, Minnesota, becoming an internet sensation.
Holy
So
cow.
that's just one image of it. You
Yeah.
can barely see it.
Yeah.
Like, but let me look this up in image search really quick. So, like, right here, it shows you, somebody
Yeah.
take a picture of it from the side. He's up there on the ledge. Like, he's way up there.
Crazy.
It's just wild. 2018, the Spanish Football Association sacked coach Julian Lopetegui just 2 days out from first World Cup game after he agreed to manage Real Madrid. 2018 as well, Volkswagen was fined 1 billion euros or 880 million pounds by German prosecutors over diesel emissions scandal.
Yeah.
2019, archaeologists announced Scottish cranongs, or fortified settlements on artificial islands in lochs, far older than first thought. Radiocarbon dated to 3,640 to 3,360 BC, older than Stonehenge.
Ooh.
And some people are starting to say Stonehenge is apparently like artificial. It's only like 50, 60 some odd years old. Like rebar, Stonehenge. They're saying Stonehenge is actually rebar, like it's actually made of cement, like that they artificially like made it or something. I'm not finding anything here. Conspiracy. Somebody took a video somewhere. I'm not finding it. But somebody like they zoomed in because like they don't allow tourists.
No, you don't get
around there anymore.
I've been there. You don't get very close to it at all.
But they've since you've been there, they've expanded it. Like you
okay.
can barely see it anymore. Like, but somebody zoomed in with a really high quality camera, and one of the stones, like, it's broken and it's exposing on the interior. It's made of concrete and rebar. It's all fake. Once again, as I said, everything that we know for the most part, outside of personal experiences, is all hearsay. So, how much of it is actually true? I don't think much of any of it is true. 2019, Kenyan Member of Parliament Rashid Kassim was arrested for slapping female MP Fatuma Gedi following a walk out of Parliament by female MPs after claiming male MPs joked it's slapping day. Wow, that is so juvenile. What he did,
Yeah.
Recently deposed Sudan President Omar al-Bashir was charged with corruption in Sudan. And U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said Iran is responsible for recent attacks on oil tankers in the Gulf of Oman. And that was all in 2019.
Yeah.
2021, G7 summit ended in Cornwall, England, with leaders promising 1 billion vaccine doses for poorer nations. They want to make sure the broke people die too. Israel's Knesset voted in a new coalition government with Naftali Bennett as prime minister, ousting Benjamin Netanyahu after a record of 12 years. Let's not forget Benjamin Netanyahu was caught mentioning, that they will, make the second Rome fall, the new Rome, meaning the United States. That's on record. Look it up. 2021, U.S. President Brandon had tea with Queen Elizabeth II at Windsor Castle. Okay, why the hell do we care? 2022, a Google engineer claimed one of its AI systems, Lambda, might have a sentient mind, causing the company to place him on leave. That seems very suspicious.
Yeah.
Why are they getting rid of him? That almost makes him sound like he's right. MIT researchers propose creating rafts of space bubbles floating above the Earth to reflect the sun's rays and help fight climate change. Oh, here we go again. No, so now they want to start, like space lasering, it sounds like. New York Stock Exchange entered bear market territory, defined as falling 20% from a recent high, January 3rd, after the S&P fell 3.9% amid fears of high inflation and recession. 2022, the Rolling Stones canceled a concert in Amsterdam due to singer Mick Jagger testing positive for Kung Flu. We also have world's largest freshwater fish, a stingray at 3.98 meters by 2.2 meters, was caught in the Mekong River, Cambodia, tagged and released. But was it photographed? Oh, whoa. Look at the size of that monster. Holy
Wow.
shit, that is enormous. Like,
Wow.
you can't, that's not dark water, that is the stingray.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big guy.
Look at that.
Yikes. You know, freaking, no wonder Steve Irwin died. 2023, former U.S. President Donald Trump and his aide Walt Nauta pled not guilty on federal charges of intentionally holding on to classified documents at a court in Miami. And everybody seems to overlook, all the stuff that Brandon had when he was not even a vice president yet.
Well, the president's the only one that can declare stuff
top secret?
Not top secret. So
Yeah.
he's the only one that can make it legal.
But he didn't even have top secret documents.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
But Biden certainly did.
Oh,
They didn't do anything.
in his garage.
They didn't even slap him on the wrist.
Well, a lot of that stuff they set up for that photography was.
Oh, absolutely.
That was all set up.
And once again, now I'm not talking for him, but I do not support Donald John Trump. I do not.
Yeah.
But you gotta say bullshit is bullshit. Otherwise you're just a blind hater. So 2023 Stanley Cup Final, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada. Vegas Golden Knights rout Florida Panthers 9-3 to clinch 4-1 series win. Franchise's first title in only 6th year of the NHL. MVP Jonathan Marchessault, VJ Key forward. So 6 years and he finally got the title. That's nice.
Yeah, that's pretty quick.
Yep. 2023, at least 100 people were killed when a wedding boat capsized on the Niger River in Kwara State, Nigeria. Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
What a terrible wedding. 3 people were killed and another 3 injured in an early morning stabbing and van robbing attack in Nottingham, England. Which means, you can ban the guns. That doesn't stop criminal from getting guns. Even if it does, it doesn't stop criminals from getting knives. Even if it does, it doesn't stop the criminal from getting a van. Even if it does, it doesn't stop the criminal from being a criminal. Stupid. 2024, Argentina's upper house narrowly passed President Javier Milei's controversial economic reforms amid violent protests. 2024, Elon Musk, also known as Mr. Chip Your Brain, secured Tesla's shareholders' approval for a $46 billion pay deal, the largest in U.S. corporate history. Didn't he just break that, the other day?
What do you mean?
With something.
They launched SpaceX
into public. And then that made Trump the world's first trillionaire.
Not Trump.
Musk. Musk. Oh, I thought you said Trump was a trillionaire.
Musk is the first trillionaire.
So now Elon Musk is the world's first trillionaire and the de facto richest person in the world. And he wants to put a chip in your brain and dictate where you go in your cars. And oh man, we're heading towards a very horrible spot. 2024, G7 leaders agreed to loan Ukraine $50 billion from frozen Russian assets to buy weapons and rebuild at their meeting in Borgo Egnazia, Italy. And we have Operation Rising Lion. Israel striked dozens of targets in Iran, including nuclear facilities, military sites, and private residences, killing some senior military commanders and scientists in an effort to eliminate Iran's nuclear ambitions, despite Israel itself being a nuclear nation. They have the bomb. They absolutely do. So this was, Israel initiated airstrikes against Iran, initiating the 12-day war. So here we go. Israel finally showing its true colors by being the aggressor for once. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition, and these links will be down there in about 10 or so minutes. Anyway, a lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, so we can only bring you a portion between this hour and 18 minutes. We finally got through all 34 pages, Although, we took longer time today than we did yesterday, and we have less pages than we did yesterday. Anyway. For your dose of Passive Events Daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. Checking for comments. And speaking of comments, if you're still watching at this time, let us know, by putting in, let's see here, one hit. Put in one hit. I don't know. I'm running out of items, in the comment section. Let us know that you're still watching. Anyway, for all of you and all of us, I'm Xander.
Golden Loon.
And UVRU. And until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!